Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. This is the American Liberty Radio Network.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. I said earlier today that I was going to take the rest of the week off and come back Monday, and I meant that. I'm feeling a little bit better today. It's raining now. All the crap and the smoke and everything out is out of the air. I just want to mention that, I got to mention a couple of things. First of all, there's a push by the Progressive Party, the ones that are Democratic Socialist and Republican Fascist, that to push President Trump into a corner and impeach him. Everyone knows that President Trump is doing everything he can to, bring things back to a normal state of being instead of all the bull crap that's happened in the last 8 to 10 years. And we have to do that. I mean, there's no question about it. We, the people, cannot depend on government anymore to take care of us. We have to do it ourselves. Now, granted, there are people who are on Social Security, disability, all that. Those people need to be helped in some way, shape, or form, but the states have to help them. And, of course, we know the financial situations of some states in the United States, but we cannot have the government come to us with all these solutions to the problems that they created. We can't do that. We have to cut them off. We have to completely and totally change the way we think about government. We cannot have a centralized government. Our founding fathers said we shouldn't, and we do, and it's wrong, and that's just the way it is. Not because I say so, but because history has shown it. In every single government across the world and in industrialized nations and westernized nations as well, we see centralized government doing everything they can to, let me just state it plainly, suppress people's freedoms. That's what it is. Now, why do they do that? Big corporations, I'm talking corporations that make hundreds of billions of dollars a year, including companies that have military contracts. The military-industrial complex here in the United States funds itself by these contracts with big companies like Boeing and all these other companies as well. They know where their bread is buttered, and they eat it quite well because it's our money funding these organizations and these companies through these military contracts. Now, my point is, if you're wondering, is the fact that we have to stop and we have to end government control over our lives. How are we going to do that? I don't know. Everybody has their own perspective on how to do that. Everybody has their own solution on how to do that. But here is one of many solutions that may work. We have to demand our governors of every state, the ones that actually are for the people, we have to demand that the governors end any type of tax breaks with government companies, or I should say companies that have government contracts. We need to end all of those tax breaks. Now, why do I say that? Well, you get a big giant corporation, a manufacturing company, whatever it is, an electronics company that has a contract with the military, you immediately cut off all tax breaks to that company in your state, and you demand that that company pay their fair share of taxes to the state, I guarantee you they are going to change their tune pretty damn quickly. Okay? When you start hitting them where it counts, you hit the government where it counts, which is directly in the collective wallet, you're going to see some changes. You're going to see some very drastic changes. Now, the only option that we, the people, have to get that done is to make demands through inactivity of giving the state more power or giving the government more power. We have to cut them off. That's all there is to it. For instance, speaking of cutting people off, the CEO of Starbucks has said that she does not like white people. Well, I have a foo-foo drink from Starbucks every so often, so maybe I won't go to Starbucks. I've said it in the past. I think we need to start looking at local areas of commerce, such as your local coffee shops, your local stores, your local, areas of commerce. And we need to completely ignore these big corporate stores, such as Walmart's and Target's and Costco's and all of that. We have to stop paying them to create problems for the rest of the citizens. Now, of course, we may look at that and go, well, we can't live without those. What did we do before they came around? Okay. So it really puts you at the very center of the defense of the United States of America in terms of political defense. You have your own beliefs. You have your own personal political leanings. And so you really have to understand what that is. As I said before in my past many podcasts, I registered as a Democrat when I was 29. I found out a hell of a lot more about that party and went, nope, not going to do it again. 4 years later, registered as a Republican. Found out what that group was all about and asked the right people about it and went, nope, not going to do that again. I filed 4 years later as an independent and found out not a good idea. And so I'm nonpartisan. I believe that all political parties need to be abolished in the United States of America. Period. All of them. I don't care who they are. They need to be abolished. And I believe that people who have come up from the streets, have worked their way up into business or education or law enforcement or whatever, those are the people that need to run for either mayors or commissioners or governors or any. We need to get rid of all of the attorneys that write the laws that they are immune to. Okay, this is what's happening. About 95% of your congressmen and women in Washington, D.C. are attorneys. And they, who better to write the laws, right? Yeah, but who better to write the laws that they're immune from? They don't have to get Obamacare, okay? They make enough money to get their own health care, okay? And why is it when Dianne Feinstein went into Congress, she was making whatever Congress was paying her, and within a couple of years, maybe, 3 or 4 years, she was a millionaire? How? She didn't save that money. It's called backroom deals. It's called bribery. It's called special interest groups and lobbyists. It's called taking money from the American people because that's where it came from. The offices in Washington, D.C. are not there, to just be there. No. They're bought and paid for by the elites of these corporations that run Washington, D.C. That's what it is. That's mainly what it is. But anyway, I get ahead of myself. The other thing I want to mention is the fact that you may want to go listen to Robert Bruce over at crazywolfmedia.com. I was on his show. I had to hang up. I called into his show last night, night before, and it really was an interesting conversation. And you guys need to go hear it. Go to crazywolfmedia.com and listen to the 13th of September, I believe it was. Let me look. The 13th of September 2017 episode. And I was on it for a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that if you want to, know who's running things behind the scenes, then you go listen to Robert Bruce on Crazy Wolf Media. Believe me, you will get the inside scoop of who these people are. And it's not only the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Fords and the, all of that. It's a whole plethora of other people that are behind the scenes, but it's historical. He will tell you exactly where these people came from and who these people are. But anyway, again, I get ahead of myself. Two other things I want to mention. American Liberty Radio Network is going through some changes, and I'd like you to be a part of those changes. And whatever you can do, become a patron for $1 a month. $1, folks, $1. All right, $1 a month on Patreon. You can become a patron at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page, and down on the bottom on the left-hand side, become a patron for $1 a month. What is that? Okay, that's $1, folks. All right, become a patron. Also, I'm going to start putting up my where you can buy T-shirts and mouse pads and cups, mugs and everything else to support the network. So look forward to seeing that within the week or so. And I'll be able to do that. And you guys totally are awesome. And you listen to the show, and you probably criticize it. You probably download it to critique it and to make fun of it. And great, other people are listening to you. Therefore, they're hearing me, and they're going, hey, this guy sounds pretty cool. And he seems to know what he's talking about. Let's go over to American Liberty Radio Network and hear what he has to say. And, of course, thank you, folks, for putting me on your show without me knowing about it. So anyway, one last thing, and then I'll get out of here. I'm still fighting this sinus problem. I'm a little bit better right now. I'm just going to take the rest of the weekend off. I'll be back Monday, bright and early and hopefully live, I hope. But I want you to know that no matter what, other than these extended days off that I take, I want you guys to listen to the past shows. I want you guys to share them. I will probably put up a couple of past shows for Friday and Saturday. For you guys to check out past shows that you may have missed, or you may have heard them and want to hear them again. So I will do that as soon as I get into the studio in the morning. And I want you guys to know that you rock. So if whatever you can do to support American Liberty Radio Network, that would be awesome. I would be eternally grateful for your support. And look for the store to come. Look for more of the store of American Liberty Radio Network to come. There's T-shirts, mouse pads, coffee cups. I mean, you name it. I got a whole lot of stuff, and that has to get moved. And therefore, you guys are going to be the first to be able to support American Liberty Radio Network through the purchase of merchandise. So that is going to be awesome. So look for that in about a week or so, and I'll let you know when that's coming up. So other things I want to mention, one last thing. I know I said that before, but one last thing is this. Things are changing, so you may start to see those changes within the next week or two, and basically a new name, which is an umbrella for what I do. I'm going to, reveal that not next week, but possibly the week after. And so I will give you more details on that as I get them. Go check out a couple of friends of mine, Mr. Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. Live Truth Radio and TV with your host, Brian Lang, LiveTruthRadio.com. Click the Listen Live Now tab. Also, check out Mr. John Christopher J. Man Collins over at thetruthwar.net. That's thetruthwar.net. Check him out. He's got a lot to say. He's a young man in college, and I'll tell you what, he knows a lot. Okay, he knows quite a bit. So don't, so let him know I sent you. That's over there at thetruthwar.net. John Christopher J. Man Collins. So anyway, folks, Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for just participating in the growth of American Liberty Radio Network. Whatever you can do to contribute, please do. Thank you very much. And folks, I'm out of here. Talk to you on Monday on the American Liberty Radio Network podcast.